Hey, what's up, folks? How many times have you said to yourself, man, I need to get my finances in order? Now, whether you were referring to improving your credit score, paying off debt, or planning for your retirement, you know that you need to make some changes in your financial life, but you always seem to be stuck just spinning your wheels. Maybe it's because you don't know where to start, or perhaps you don't think you have the resources to do what you need to do. And the resources you need could be anything from knowledge about how your credit score gets calculated to knowing the best way to get your debt under control or knowing how to invest for your future. Or perhaps the resource you need is more income. Well, today I'm going to walk you through some processes to help you get on track to take control of your finances. So stay right where you are. I'll be right back. So one of the biggest obstacles that people face when trying to get their finances in order is a less than desirable credit score. Hey, we've all been there, right? One of the reasons your credit score is such a big deal is because it can cost you money in so many ways and rob you of valuable resources that you need in order to begin building wealth. Just think about some of the ways that a low credit score affects your financial life. A low credit score can prevent you from being able to secure a loan to buy a home, an automobile, or perhaps even get a better job. Yes, some employers use your credit score when making hiring decisions. A low credit score can also cause you to pay more for life insurance, car insurance, as well as the interest rate you're going to pay if you're able to secure a loan. That's because your credit score is a measure of your personal risk. It's also a scorecard, if you will, of your financial behaviors. Think about it. Would you loan money to someone who has a history of being late with their payments or has a history of defaulting on financial obligations? Even landlords use your credit score to decide if you're too big of a risk to rent a home or an apartment to. Poor financial behaviors could signal to some that you might be prone to behave in a risky manner while driving an automobile or while performing your job duties. That's why insurance companies and employers look at your credit score. So let's talk about how you can increase your credit score and therefore lower your risk profile. One of the most common mistakes people make with their credit score is not properly managing their credit history, which, by the way, happens to be the most heavily weighted component of your credit score. Your credit history accounts for 35% of your credit score. So of the 850 potential points in your credit score, your credit history can account for 297.5 of those points. Your credit history is the section of your credit report that shows whether you've been 30, 60, 90, or even 120 days late with your payments on any debts that you owe. This is also the section that shows if you have any current collections, charge-offs, foreclosures, or bankruptcies. Since this is the most heavily weighted area of your credit score, this is where you should start when looking to make improvements. Get your credit report and look for any negative marks in this area. Look at each of your accounts, and if you have any payments that are currently late, catch them up as soon as possible and keep them up to date. Late payments can have a big impact on your credit score, and unfortunately, depending on how many late payments you have and how recent they are, it could take a little while to reverse the impacts of those late payments. But you have to keep your eye on the prize. Get all of your payments current and keep them current, and you will see your credit score increase slowly but surely. If you are young and just starting to build credit, or if you're older but just have never had much credit in your name, your credit score could be low simply because you don't have enough history. If this is the case, I've got a simple and quick fix for you. You might even call it a credit score hack. Whatever, it works. What you need to do is find someone who trusts you and who also has a credit card with a good payment history. Now don't get ahead of me. Once you have someone in mind, now comes the hard part. you have to approach that person and ask them if they're willing to add you as an authorized user on their credit card. Now, before they curse you out and kick you out of their house, explain to them that you will not actually use their card. In fact, you don't even want to receive a card. All you want is for your name to be added to their account as an authorized user. If you find someone who is willing to do this, their payment history on that card will become your history on your credit report. Listen, this is a great way to jumpstart your credit score, and I'm telling you, it absolutely works, and it works fast. I have seen someone with little to no credit use this strategy and watch their credit score improve by almost 200 points just by being added to one card with a good history. Of course, if you can get yourself added to more than one card, the amount of improvement that you see may actually go up. Now, when it comes to collections, charge-offs, and bankruptcies, it's all about time and amount. The more recent these negative marks are and the higher the amount, the bigger the impact they will have on your score. For more detailed information on how to deal with these negative marks, watch my two-part series on how to build and repair credit. The important thing to remember here is that these negative marks may not be hurting your score as much as you think. I've seen so many people spend a lot of time, energy, and money focusing on these things and being stressed in the process when they could have made more headway by focusing their resources on other areas. Sometimes it's better to just let time take care of some of these issues. Worst case scenario is that they will fall off your credit report after 7 years even if you do nothing. Now, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't try to clear bad debts from your report. What I am suggesting is that you need to understand your credit report well enough to be able to weigh the cost versus benefits and make an informed decision about how to best allocate your resources. The next most heavily weighted area of your credit report, and the one that may be keeping you from getting your financial life together, is the credit utilization section. This is one of the most commonly mismanaged areas of your credit score. Most people don't even realize that they're hurting their score with their behaviors in this area. In fact, if you have a good credit history, credit utilization may be the one thing keeping you from reaching that 800 credit score. Let me explain how this works. For each credit card that you have, there's a credit limit associated with that card, right? How much of that credit limit is reported as your current balance each month is your credit utilization. Let's say you have a credit card that has a $1,000 limit and your reported balance this month is $350. That means that your credit utilization on this card is 35%. Now, here's what you need to know about utilization and your credit score. Anytime your utilization is above 10%, you will see a drop in your credit score. If your utilization goes above 30%, you will see an even bigger drop in your credit score. So you could be making your payments on time every month and your credit score could still remain lower than you desire, and in fact it could be declining. The good news is this is another area where you could see some fast improvements to your credit score if you develop the right behaviors. As soon as your utilization falls below 30%, you will see your credit score improve. When your utilization drops below 10%, you will see it improve even more. Now, obviously, the best strategy is to pay your credit card balances in full each month. But I understand you may not be able to get to that behavior overnight. But if you take it one card at a time and first focus on getting each one below 30% and then work towards 10%, and finally to developing the habit of not charging more than you can pay in full each month, I can guarantee you will see improvements in your credit score. I dare you to prove me wrong. Remember, this section of your credit report is potentially worth 255 points on your credit score. Now, I'm not going to cover the other 3 areas of your credit score in this video because their impacts are less significant, but I do encourage you to watch the entire playlist on credit on this channel. The next thing you need to do in order to get your financial life in order is to have a debt elimination plan. This also goes hand in hand with managing your credit score, but it's also bigger than that. When a good portion of your resources is going toward debt, that's money that's not being put to work for you. You're paying someone else interest when you could be funding your investments and earning interest. If you truly want to get your finances in order, you need to have a plan for eliminating debt. If debt is holding you back, then please invest 10 to 15 minutes of your time to watching my video on debt freedom. In that video, I give you some tips, strategies, and calculators to use to map out your debt freedom plan. As you work on your debt freedom plan, you will also be freeing up resources that can then be used to start building wealth. You have to put your money to work for you in some way if you want to thrive and not just survive. Your plan for getting your financial life together really needs to include investing. Contrary to what some people may tell you, or perhaps what you already believe, investing in the stock market still gives you the best probability of reaching financial independence. You can start slowly and with a small amount, but you have to get started. Now, you will also find a video series on this channel on stock market basics. You might want to check it out. You may be ready to start investing now, or you may need to focus on your debt first. Every situation is different, but regardless of where you are now, you need to make investing a part of your plan to get your financial life together. Now, all of this sounds good, and everything I'm telling you will work if you have the resources to do it. We've all heard the term pay yourself first, right? And it can have different meanings for different people. But at its core, it means making it a priority to invest in yourself first means you have the resources to do other things in life you want to accomplish. Right now is an excellent time to invest in yourself in order to increase your pool of resources. Perhaps a career change is just what you need to set you on your path to financial independence. If you've ever thought about changing jobs, now might be an excellent time to do it. Finding workers is at a premium right now. That means that your skills are more valuable now than they have been in a very long time. Employers are offering signing bonuses, education assistance, and higher salaries. Maybe you should at least take a look at what's out there and see if there's something that is a better fit for you than what you're currently doing. Sometimes you have to be willing to take a leap of faith in order to land in a better position. You can get your financial life together, but you need to think about how you behave when it comes to all aspects of your money. Whether it's managing your credit score, eliminating debt, or planning for your retirement. You have to practice good money habits until they become natural behaviors. And you know what I always say, if you change your behaviors, you can change your life. So until next time, behave well.